So tell me, an early morning thought. So tell me, if when you go to hire somebody, right? When you go to hire somebody to do a job and stuff like that, don't you have to officially fire them? Don't you have to officially go through the steps and actually go to them and say, "Look, I'm sorry, but you're going to be fired," or like, "No doubt you're going to be fired," before you actually get terminated and stuff like that. Um, I'm just wondering because this whole situation from the past. It's been a thing that's on my mind that I kind of let it falter because I kind of got cold feet and there was some things that had happened, like I said before. But then again, she did try to hire me for what she considered to be a job thing, and um, she never really sat down with me to really kind of quit, fire me or and that business contract. So, I don't know. She said to me she was a lady that didn't have a lot of time and stuff like that. But if you're gonna run a proper business and stuff like that, to run a proper business and hire people to run, help run your business and stuff like that, aren't you gonna be? Aren't you gonna have to fire them properly? Aren't you going to have to go to them and fire them properly and say, sorry, you're fired and stuff like that? But um, I think what really hurts her, really disappoints her on her end is that she really had a lot of this person had a lot of faith in me and stuff like that, and really wanted to trust me and was willing to trust me, a hell of a lot because she really liked who I was and stuff like that, and I really liked who she was, and I wouldn't have put myself in that position because that position at all to help her out or etc. If I didn't like who she was and stuff like that, but. Granted, when it came time to really do certain things, it just did not work out, and there was a lot of issues and stuff. And I kind of let her down, which I always knew there was a possibility I was going to let that person down. I mean, not necessarily that I wanted to, or necessarily kind of like not show up for the job, as she was saying that I was unreliable and she was not going to show up for the job and stuff like that. But you know it's just like I didn't really want to let her down. But I mean, obviously, I was trying to go back and try to talk to her, because she was mad, she was upset. As I said before, that person was upset, when they walked onto the job and they were upset, and I wanted to give them space and time to cool down. I'm not going back to a job where my employer is mad, and especially it's an employer that I really like and stuff like that, and they're mad and they're really heated because nothing's getting done or nothing's getting properly taken care of and stuff like that. So, um, I at this point, I just think when it comes down to it, I always thought there should be a way to properly get closure and properly tell somebody that they're fired or something like that, and properly get closure for different things, compared to just not talking to them again, which is kind of what I don't get about the situation. Like, I don't get to I'm not being talked to again, but it is what it is. I guess not being not talked to is the closure. I've been through this. I talked to this about before, about so many relationships and so many unrequited loves and so many unrequited situations that I know this by heart by now, that not getting the conversation or not getting the attention is the closure. So it's the door closing in my face, telling me to move on and stop knocking on a dead door. So, but the thing I don't get is that she's an employer, and she didn't properly officially fire me like an employer would. So. It was more like I just kind of didn't show up for the job one day, and then it's like, next thing you know, it's like spiraled to the point that she's just not talking to me and I'm not talking to her. So I mean, I really liked her, and I mean, some people are gonna say it a funny way of really showing that I really, I really liked her, but I really did like her. I really liked her. I really liked the food. I really liked the business. I just didn't like the fact that she got kind of mean and upset and kind of self-centered and kind of like rude and kind of But it's her business. It's her business and stuff like that. But I don't want to be I really don't want to be the employee under the business that that she's overseeing. If that's how she kind of has to come and treat her employees. But regardless, I just thought that there was just a certain thing should have happened. And not only that, there was a lot of love and stuff I wanted to put into showing them. I really wanted to show a lot of love and support to their business and stuff. And what hurts is the fact that I can't show that love and I can't really express and show that love to the business and stuff like that because they don't want that love and they don't want my efforts and my love to be shown to the business and stuff like that because of what had happened. So, granted, I'm now, as I said before, out of a local business and stuff like that. But granted, there was some personal conflictions in there about her being, what she's doing as a personal, what she's doing as a personal adult and stuff like that. What she's doing as a personal adult and how she's handling things and what she's doing and what she's doing at her parties and what kind of parties she's having and. Obviously, there's nothing wrong with having an adult party and stuff like that, but I don't know. I don't know if Torrington was ever the place for people to have adult parties and stuff. It's like she's going to turn, her restaurant into an adult club or an adult business from time to time, so she can have adult fun. I don't know if that's necessarily legal and stuff like that to do, but that's exactly what she's doing. She's having an adult party, so. I don't know. I part of me likes her for it, and part of me doesn't like her for it because I know in the end that I'm just the unrequited person, and I'm the person that's not gonna be really shown the respect or the attention or the love that I really deserve, and get out of a situation like that. So, so I'm moving on. I'm moving on, and it's like there's other females, there's other males, there's other people out there I could date. So, and I've already started trying to date other people, but I'm not saying I was gonna date her, but I'm saying there's other people out there for considered to be interest of love and business. But that's kind of my other problem too, is that I probably was mixing love and business, and I also saw her mixing I also saw her mixing love and business. Sorry, I got like really bad allergies this morning. But I also saw her mixing love and business pretty much, or pleasure and business when she was talking to those guys about a threesome, and then she was also trying to have her business too, but she's over there behind the counter getting, hopped up on her alcohol and stuff on New Year's Eve, and then she's talking to some guys about a threesome and stuff like that. That she's kind of mixing her pleasures with business, and that it's her business, but that's what she's doing with her business is that she's kind of mixing the pleasurable thing where she's mixing kind of like some other things in with what should be just business, but it's her business, and so it's just what she can it's what she wants to do. It's kind of like what I do in a way too. Not that I'm saying I'm mixing business business and pleasure too much, but some people might think so by the way I post my I want to say my adult models. Some of them are adult models, but but I post a model and stuff on my page. Some people might say I'm mixing pleasure with business, and then the models don't belong on my art page because they're more for they're not as professional or more professional for business and stuff like that. And it's more for pleasure and things that are not that are not necessarily business related. But she's the one who's mixing business with pleasure. It's not necessarily me. I overheard her mixing business with pleasure, and I don't know. I kind of had some weird feelings about that. I'm like, I wanted to see her as the businesswoman, and now I see her as a woman that really wants to have some type of adult party and adult fun, and and still kind of be a businesswoman and have the empire and have it all. I told somebody openly too that person was a Mac, and I mean that person was a Mac. There's a difference between a player, a pimp, and a Mac. You gotta learn the three scenarios here. There's a player, there's a pimp, and there's a Mac. And that person's kind of a Mac, where she can use her words, and she doesn't have to really have to forcefully do anything to get people to do what she wants to do. She can just flirt and use her words, and next thing you know, she can have a string of guys or a string of people that want to, help her out and be there for her to do what she wants to do in her bidding and stuff like that. And if she really wanted to, she could use it for this guy against that guy and that guy against this guy, where I think in a way, maybe she was also trying to use it to, to questionably have me possibly go against John Noki in another different way that, was more like, not just in business, but more like, for her attention and time. And it's like, I'm not trying to ruin my life or my career to go after, her, her heart because she wants to pin me against John Noki for whatever flirtatious reason she has, um but regardless, she's kind of a Mac. Taquana's kind of a Mac, but that's what I'm talking about is Taquana. But that's what I just don't understand. That I mean, I was doing, it didn't have the proper closure. But once again, the only way I really understand it is how my therapist has told me how to understand it is just to simply walk away because the door shutting and then people not wanting to talk to me again and want nothing to do with me is the closure. Is the door shutting and is the closure to actually shut the door. So, granted, she's going to mac on other guys, she's going to mac with other people, and she's going to try to flirt and she might even possibly sleep around with other guys and stuff like that, It's none of my concern. I mean, it kind of does bother me because there's a part, there's some personal reasons and stuff in that, but, she is going to probably sleep around and do what she wants to do and stuff like that, so, but, I can't stop her. She's an adult. It's her business. But I don't know if people are all going to want to do business with Taquana if Taquana's mixing business with pleasure. Some people might. Some people might want to jump on that situation and try to be like, oh, I want to go with Taquana because she's mixing business with pleasure, and I want to see if I can go hook up with Taquana. That's always that possibility. Now that I've said it, that other people are going to want to try to hook up with Taquana and stuff like that because I've said she's mixing business with pleasure, but or she's trying to she has mixed business with pleasure. And actually, as soon as I mentioned it to her, she kind of realized some stuff, and I don't think those guys were really back at her store and stuff like that. And I think that's because she probably did sleep with them or something, and then she told them not to come back to the store and stuff because it was an unprofessional light and stuff like that. So, but she's an adult; she can do what she wants to do, but. As I said before, she's being professional in some ways, and then she's also mixing some other things on the side that are not necessarily as might be seen as professional or more for other type of reasons, like a booty call here and a booty call there. But she's an adult; she'll do what she wants to do. I didn't know what to think of her. I was just kind of like, I don't want to say intimidated, but I was kind of like, I don't know what the word is. I don't know what the word is how I think of her, but I'm going to use the word a Mac because she really is a Mac. She really gets guys to do what she wants to do. She got Toothpick to do what she wanted to do. She's getting John to do what she wanted to do just by kind of, flirting and, kind of talking to them and stuff like that. So, but I don't know, And everybody wants to blame me for, people probably want to blame me because I turned my back on John, and then there's some people that might not want to work. It's out of my control about those other people who might not want to work with John, but there's some people who might not want to work with John, including myself. And some people might want to blame me because I'm the one, that, that's speaking up against the fact that I don't want to work with him and stuff like that. But, it's not my fault. It's not my fault that there was already discrepancies in business with John and stuff like that. But one thing I'm not going to let it do is I'm not going to sit here and let Taquana turn it into a fight, where I'm going to have to, argue and fight with John because she wants to flirt with him or have him under her wing or something like that because she's flirted with him and she's got her Mac on and stuff like that to make him feel some type of way that he has to do some stuff out of character or something like that, But, regardless of the factor, she knows what she's doing and she knows what the power she can have over guys, and she knows guys wanna get, be with her, like, in that type of way. She knows guys want to do that. I kind of let it out that I kind of would have considered that, but I wanted to go a different route. So she knew that I would have almost considered that, but I wanted to go a different route, and I told her I almost would have considered that. It's not like she it's not like she was not in previous to that information that I could have maybe, just been like the other guys, because I know she knows I witnessed that she had those other guys there, and she didn't say much about it, but she's not like, silence speaks many words. So but regardless of the factor about personal reasons and stuff like that, the main reason is that, I was supposed to do a job for her, and I don't feel like there's closure, but I mean, the closure is the closure itself, is that, not talking to me and trying to, telling me that, not talking to me and kind of like telling me that to like get lost and stuff is kind of like the closure in itself, because it kind of represents me as the factor that I am, fired and stuff like that. So, but anyways, just wanted to get that off my chest this morning. But I don't understand some of that, then again, there was a part of me that really wanted to put a lot of love and a lot of attention into. There's a part of me that wanted to put a lot of love and attention into the relationship of me trying to get to know her as a businesswoman and stuff like that. There was a part of me that wanted to put a lot of love and respect and a lot of, attention and time into her business. And I started putting a lot of attention and time into her business. But actually, I started putting a lot more attention and time into her business, more than I would actually put into other people's businesses, that there was a lot more attention and time I was putting more into her business more compared to others at some point, because she got me roped into the point that I would spend more time over there compared to maybe going over there once and then maybe going over somewhere else probably a little bit later and stuff like that. She got me roped into going there quite more frequently, because I don't know, it was her, because it was her and how she was a Mac, and also because of how her food is, and she's she knows she can be the shit, but she knows, she boasts about being the shit, but but there's other people out there that can be the shit and stuff too. So it's not like we have to sit here and be like, have to feel some type of way or feel indifferent because she just cooks good food, or some people might say, oh, she has good pee, or PP, or whatever you want to call it, but whatever, I don't know. But I just wanted to get that off my chest this morning, because that was on my mind. Like, why wouldn't she want to give it closure? Why wouldn't she want to give it the proper closure? Why wouldn't she want to end on proper closure and stuff like that? But she probably was going to say I probably had my chance and stuff like that to do that, and she's right. So, so the only thing is the closure now is just to walk away and stop beating on the dead door. But that's just how I feel about the situation. She's kind of a Mac, and she can kind of get her needs met, and she will get her needs met and stuff like that. So, but it is what it is. I don't know. I was thinking about like 10 o'clock going to walk around the block with my friend a little bit. My friend and I were thinking about meeting at 10 o'clock and walking around the block and stuff. And then maybe going to the craft fair over at the Elks Lodge, which is right across the street. We're going to go to the Elks Lodge. And we were thinking about maybe going over to the craft fair over there and maybe walking around there for a little bit, at 10 o'clock. You said at 1 o'clock he usually goes somewhere. He usually goes somewhere with a friend or has something to do at 1 o'clock. So, for me, I'm thinking about maybe going out, possibly, 10 o'clock this morning with him and try to just take a quick walk and maybe go over to, to the Elks Lodge to see the see the craft fair and stuff like that. So, but yeah, just chilling at this point, doing what I gotta do, and, yeah.